Very own personal tribute to Timmy Mallett. That's only because we hadn't got Go Now in the record library, and I wish Timmy Mallett every success in his new career, whatever it is. Unfortunately, the entire massive radio complex in the centre of Greater Manchester is full of drunken, spotty teenagers, so the chances of getting through a decent radio programme are limited. However, I sincerely hope that they'll all push off between now and 11 o'clock so we can get on with some proper broadcasting. I'll say this much, the bloke from Black Lace is in here, you know, the one who goes with his teeth, and he has got the face that I would most like to smash in with a brick until the end of time. And if you can hear this, I sincerely hope he comes in here and tries to sort it out. You know, one of those faces, you look at it and you think, God's truth, right? He's in the next room with his leather trousers on, and in this weather it must be terrible inside them. Anyway, that's the end of all that Timmy Mallett nonsense, and welcome to a decent radio programme. James H. Reeve with you here from now until 1 o'clock, and we'll get some decent broadcasting done. And with any luck, that will be the last that we see of Timmy Mallett until the end of time. Won't that be nice? If you want to join in on the programme, then you can give us a ring on 061 228 6262, and obviously you'll want to discuss the burning topics of the day like you usually do, but something that I really want to know is what is that shadow in the middle of the football pitch in all the matches in Mexico, because it started off as just a dot and now it's grown until it's like a big sunflower. If you've got any ideas as to what this thing is in the middle of the pitch, then come on the programme and tell me. Christ, hang on. There we are, that's better, isn't it? A seamless. Yes, I'm very partial to that. There's just a noise in the studio. The reason, actually, is that the entire massive complex, which lays down a fantastic crystal clear signal, unless you live in Harper A, is full of drunken teenagers and drunken members of staff, all because of the leaving party of this so-called disc jockey, Tommy Mallett, or whatever his stupid name is. Anyway, tonight is going to be an exceptional programme because I've no option. Later on, the cleaners will be in to take away all the empty tins and wipe out the ashtrays and so on, so there'll be some entertaining hoovering going on in the background, but let that not stand in your way of joining into the usual entirely stimulating radio programme. Tonight's guest telephone answerer, Steve Huckvale, has been temporarily laid off because he's too drunk to answer the phones, because he was in there firing the twiglets down his throat and getting stuck into the Fosters and trying to interfere with all these nymphettes. Tonight's guest telephone answerer is none other than the fabulous Frank Sidebottom. Oh, blimey. And he'll be answering the telephones, and he may very well make a special guest appearance in the programme. Also on tonight's programme will be Rita Rowe, remember her? The one that many of you think I'm sleeping with, but I deny this completely. She'll be in to present a theatrical type review. And whatever else comes into the programme is entirely your responsibility, because tonight is Thursday night and things very much tend to take care of themselves, don't they? If you want to come on and throw some dross onto the already sinking ship of this programme, then 061 228 6262 is the telephone number, and you're very welcome to the programme, and I mean that in every sense of the word. We're going to have some music, of course, which will be exceptional, as it always is. These are the Glitter Band from, good grief, about 1973. Yes, and Angel Face. Programme, if you will. Brilliant, aren't they? The Glitter Band and Angel Face. It's 18 minutes past 10 o'clock. We'll take a break, and then, with any luck, we'll have some callers. The leading participants in that, I can assure you. It's 19 minutes past 10, as you can probably imagine. The detritus is slowly but surely being cleared from the wreckage which was the Timmy Mallett programme, and with any luck things will return to normal between now and 11 o'clock, and then we continue on our serene way up until 1 o'clock. I sincerely hope that happens. One of the things that I really want to get to the bottom of on tonight's programme is what is that thing in the middle of the pitch in all the World Cup soccer matches, because in the early days, you remember when England got beat 1-0 by Portugal, there was just sort of a small dot just to the right-hand side of the centre circle. But as the competition has progressed, this thing has grown like a sort of an ink blot, and it's now spreading arms all over the place, and I want to know what it is. I was speaking to Steve Huckvale, my friend and colleague and confidant, and I said, what do you think it is? He says, I don't know, which is just about the level of comment you can expect from him. And I suggested that it was either an overhead spotlight or something suspended, which perhaps was a sunflower. And as the weather's got hotter, the sunflower has begun to spread its petals. And I suggested to him that the sunflower might be the national emblem of Mexico. And he said, no, it isn't, like he does. So I said, well, what is the national emblem of Mexico? He says, I think it's a goat. Now, I mean, that's hardly... I mean, you can't really suggest that, can you? If you've got any sensible suggestions as to what this thing is in the middle of the pitch during the World Cup matches, then come on and tell me on 061 228 6262. In... oh, good grief. In Chorlton is Kath Williams, I hope. Oh, no, she's not. Hang on, I'll do that. Yes, Kath Williams, come on.
Hello?
Yes?
Hi, is it an Inca sun?
What?
Which is, how a lost Mexican tribe used to draw the sun, and it's suspended from the top of the stadium over the pitch.
Inca?
Inca.
I-N-C-A?
Inca.
The lost civilization of the Incas?
Mexican tribe.
Well, I don't... Yes, I know all about that. I don't know. Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice if some of these fat men with expensive haircuts, instead of saying, well, for me, I think they should play two up front and all the rest of it, if they actually told us what this thing was, instead of droning on about... Instead of these people who don't know anything about football, otherwise they'd be out there, would sit... Instead of doing that, if they would sit around in the studio discussing what this thing was, then it might take a load off the minds of the vast majority of people who are sitting watching the television.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there with their eyes popping out of their heads.
Yeah, well, that's what I think it is.
You think it's an Inca sun?
Yeah.
And what might be the purpose of that, Kath?
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, God.
Well, it's Mexican, isn't it?
Indisputably, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Right, great stuff. Darren Howarth in Rochdale.
Jim?
Yes.
You know that girl that's just been on?
Yes.
She's wrong.
Go on, then. Why is that?
Well, you know, when it has arms, that shadow...
Yeah.
Well, you only get that in the Azteca because it's some speakers. Have you ever seen there's like a spiral?
No, it was there in Monterey.
No, in Monterey, it's only like a little dot in it, like you said when England played Poland.
Yeah.
Well, it's a dot.
Yeah.
But in the Azteca, it's got all them lines.
Well, yes, sort of radial lines, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a big spiral of speakers for public address system, that.
Then why is the shadow of it on the middle of the pitch?
Because it's suspended in the air over the middle of the pitch.
Well, why has it got all these things? Why do they have the one in Monterey and the other in the Azteca and the Tecnologica?
They've only got one.
And the Cascara?
They've only got one of them. The others all have like a little dot. They only have one speaker.
Yes.
And the Azteca's got the big one.
And that's the definite answer, is it?
Definite.
Well, it sounds like a lot of bull to me, actually.
Who's that? Who's on telly?
Who said that?
John Motson said that.
Why, did people write in?
No, he just told us.
Well, I don't believe you.
You know what John Motson's like, don't you?
Yeah, he's a tall chap with a bald head.
No, he's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I mistaking him for someone else?
I think so.
Oh, all right, then. OK, but thank you very much, Darren. That was no use whatsoever. We'll see if Pete... Oh, God, he's on again. Peter Niss in Alderley Edge has got anything better to offer.
Yeah, right. What I'd like to talk about is...
Do you want to explain the joke again, Peter?
No.
Right.
What I'd like to talk about is, the Channel Islands has given the British government 2 million quid of theirs to spend on the defence budget.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was on the news earlier this evening.
What, in case the Germans come back?
Yeah. Well, you see, what the... the Channel Islands have got partial independence, but they're still, officially ruled by, the Crown,
Yes.
Well, anyway, they've given 2 million quid to the British government to spend on the defence budget.
Yeah.
Now, what they want it to be spent on is a Royal Navy helicopter to be based in the Channel Islands, for life-saving and that.
What for?
Well,
to save lives?
Yeah, because all they've got at present is a couple of inflatables with motors on the back. That isn't good enough.
A couple of inflatable whats?
Boats.
Oh, right, yeah.
What did you think?
Never mind.
And, they've got a very good case for it as well, right? And what the British government want to do, they've really got their heads up their backside here, right? What they want to buy is a minesweeper. Right?
What?
That's what I thought. Now, I don't really see the logic in that. I mean, I may be wrong, but I don't think there are a lot of mines around at the moment.
Well, no, thanks to Ian McGregor, no.
Yeah, I mean, you're a sensible man, aren't you? I mean...
Very much so. Very, very, very sensible indeed, yeah.
On a scale of 10, sensible. I mean, how would you score Rita Rowe in bed?
Now, listen. Now, this has got nothing to do with it, right? I've told you before about mentioning this. Now, what's that got to do with mines?
Why don't you admit it?
And going down shafts.
Why don't you admit it?
It's got nothing to do with the programme. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off.
OK.
Unless you... Oh, no, never mind that. No, I won't bother. Right, get off, you idiot. Danny Williams in Davenport, come on. Come on.
Hello, sorry, that was a pregnant pause, wasn't it?
It certainly was, yes.
Well, at least it wasn't a pregnant Rita Rowe. Anyway...
Look, I'm not prepared to tolerate this anymore.
No, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Warren Burger, who's just retired as the Chief Justice of the United States of America.
Well, why not? I was thinking of bringing it up myself.
Yes, and he's been replaced by William Rehnquist, who is known to share many of President Reagan's views.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that as President Reagan appoints all the new members or the promotions in the Supreme Court, wouldn't it be quite easy for him to fill the whole lot with yes men?
Well, I should imagine he's already thought of that.
Well, yes, but don't you think that they should introduce some legislation, to prevent politicians meddling with the law?
Well, that's what politicians are supposed to do. Politicians draft the laws.
Well, yes, but surely the other judges should appoint the new Chief Justice.
Well, in any form of government, well, certainly in a democracy, it's politicians who draft the laws and the judiciary who are supposed to enforce them. However much that they may disagree with the way the laws have been drafted, that's the way the mop flops.
Yes, I mean, where could it all end? I mean, he could appoint all his relatives to Congress so that, they could vote through any new arms being sent to Nicaragua or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And so, what's the problem here exactly? You're a bit dissatisfied with the state of government in the United States?
Yes.
Oh, well, I hope it doesn't keep you awake very long.
Oh, I dare say it won't. By the way, do you think Rita Reeve will have any answers to the accusations later on?
Get off, get off. Richard Highland in Middleton, yes?
Hello?
Hello.
You know this shadow in Mexico?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, apparently it's a sound system that's suspended over the pitch.
Well, what does it do?
Oh, it don't do anything, it's not working.
Oh, because the Mexicans are in charge of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but apparently, if you look at... It's in the Azteca Stadium, innit?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, if you look along on the stands, you see it like a white structure.
Structure?
Yeah.
A sort of an erection?
Don't be disgusting.
Oh.
Well, it's that. It's a shadow of that falls on the pitch.
And that's it, is it?
And that's it.
Well, that's all very disappointing.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was some sort of triffid.
No.
No. All right. I'll push off then. Boring. Lisa McConville in Winsford.
Hello?
Hello.
It is the shadow on from the sound system above.
So we seem to
have... Greaves in St John this afternoon.
What? What?
It is the sound equipment from above because it was on Greavesy and St John this afternoon.
Oh, well, if Greavesy and St John tell us what it is, then that's the end of it, isn't it? That's problem solved.
Yeah,
I mean, assuming, of course, that Jimmy Greaves knew which studio he was in, or which country he was in, for that matter. He's puddled, honestly. On Spitting Image, they don't bother making a puppet. They just invite him in and give him a fee, because there's no difference at all.
Oh, no.
Puddled. I don't know how many brain cells he's got left, but... Anyway, never mind. So that's the answer, is it?
Yes.
Right,
Can you just say hello to my boyfriend?
No, you can't. Thank you very much indeed, Lisa McConville in Winsford, for clearing that one up. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not convinced that this ridiculous shadow in the middle of the pitch is anything to do with the sound system at all, because even at Piccadilly, our engineering department haven't managed to produce a sound system which looks as ridiculous as that. So if you've got any more original suggestions as to what this shadow on the pitch is, then please tell me about it on the programme on 061 228 6262 if you can. And failing that, then come on the programme and talk about anything, because I'm here for the next 2.5 hours. Here's a break. At 10:30 precisely, the usual stuff in the programme, but most importantly, Rita Rowe has now joined us in the studio, and we'll be talking about theatrical matters and other things, I suspect, shortly.